Niners Vikings. Um, our very first episode, we did our schedule release reactions, right? And I penciled this game as an automatic W. It's Kirk Cousins on Monday night. Kirk Cousins is known for not showing up in prime time, specifically on Monday night. And I'm not even going to dive into the reason that I gave a couple months ago on that stream. But I really feel like the Niners are going to bounce back from this victory. And, I probably should have mentioned it in the Browns recap, but the Niners, in a way, needed that loss against the Browns in order to serve as a wake-up call. Because
I think every team needs a reality check.
After beating Dallas, the Niners got they were just so cocky and started a fight before the game. And, I seem to remember, this guy, Mike over here, it's agreeing with Mr. Laugh Now, Cry Later. What goes around comes around, right? And I feel like the Niners losing to the Browns, maybe a little bit of karma, because after we beat the Cowboys, it was like we stayed on that for longer than any other team would have, for any victory. But I got the Niners beating the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are that good, and they don't even have Justin Jefferson, the one player that we should have had to worry about.
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be a Niners team with, I wouldn't say a chip on their shoulder, but they're definitely going to be pissed off, to get a win, especially on prime time. Yeah, they're going to want to go out there and beat the shit out of them, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm just trying to think too. I feel like Bosa is going to get another sack this week. Randy Gregory played pretty well last week against the Browns. I hope to see if he can build off of that and get back-to-back weeks with a sack. Because it would be huge for the Niners to have another guy that can draw attention away from Nick Bosa, so that way Bosa can see more one-on-one pass rush. And this week he won't be going up against DeJuan Jones. I don't know. I mean, who do the Vikings have on their offensive line?
I have no idea. The only person I'm thinking of who might be retired by now is Riley Reef.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. Darisaw at left tackle. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's healthy right now or not, but I know he's good.
Yeah, I don't think Kirk can really escape the pocket like PJ Walker can, and it's really going to be a matter of if the 49ers secondary can hold, because I don't think the Vikings have that great of a running game. And even if they did, I would bid them good luck trying to run against this Niner defense.
Yeah, I don't
when they haven't already established it.
Yeah, the run game is going to get shut down. It's going to be dependent on Kirk Cousins. This is going to be a typical Kirk Cousins Monday night game for sure. It's going to be ugly. Oh,
yeah, I predict an ugly game. I think the Niners bounce back. I wouldn't call it a statement game. This might be a game where they just sort of dominate the ball, the time of possession. Jordan Mason, I think Jordan Mason's going to be the back that takes over. It could be Elijah Mitchell. The reason why I would give it to Mason over Mitchell is because Mitchell is coming off of injuries of his own, and he has struggled to stay healthy in his career. And you probably want Jordan Mason to be, getting fed a little bit more. You want him to have the experience and be ready in case he's needed later in the season. And I don't know if you can rely on Elijah Mitchell long term.
Yeah, I think Mitchell gets a couple carries, but I mean, in this Browns game, I think he got 2 carries for -5. So, and yeah. Mason got at least 5 carries, maybe 10. maybe 8, I don't know, but he got like 25 yards in the touchdown. So, and just this entire season, Mason's been pretty consistently good on the field. Nothing special, but he's been good. Scored a couple
I think
touchdowns. So,
I think Mason's an underrated running back, dude.
yeah, I have one fantasy league where I don't really care for this rule set, but like as the games are going on, you can pick up players at any point. So you could drop a bench player that's sucking for a player that's mid game. So like for example, 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, I picked up Devon Achan like when he got his second touchdown. Instead of like the usual waiver period that we would have to wait for, I picked him up immediately. So I'm having issues at running back in that league right now. I'm actually the only running back I can play next week is Alexander Madison. So I had to drop Miles Sanders for Jordan Mason
Mm-hmm.
because Sanders is on a bye. So
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good move. I kind of feel like Chuba might be taking over that backfield in Carolina.
that's possible. I know now we're getting on a tangent, but
Yeah,
just because I have Sanders in another league or in our league, I honestly think Sanders is still the starter. I think that he just has an ongoing groin issue and a shoulder injury. So they're kind of limiting his snaps right now. But the amount that they paid him, I don't think they're going to go away from him. Maybe it becomes a 50-50, but I don't see him ever going below 50 unless it's because he's hurt. But if Chuba is like uber efficient, then okay, yeah, maybe. But that would be a pretty bad contract for them to hold on to for at least another season with Sanders.
yeah. Back to Niners Vikings. Yeah, I don't see a scenario where the Vikings beat the Niners, even if the Niners are banged up. Monday Night Kirk, it's not going to happen. Give me the Niners.
Yeah, I think you guys can honestly rest McCaffrey, even if he thinks that he can play. I think you can rest him, and you guys should still beat the Vikings by like at least 13, but probably 20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about it, really, but besides repeating the same thing. We gotta go out and see it, and we'll be back next week. To see whether we're right or wrong, and we'll at least be able to give our reaction fresh straight after the game.
True.
So it might be a little later next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because after the game, I'm probably going to watch it at Pia's house and then come back home.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll be able to keep it short. When's the Niners bye week?
Week 9.
Oh man, that would have been cool if it was week 8 because then we wouldn't have to talk about their next game. That's right. Week 8, you guys play the Bengals. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. So honestly, there might not even be much to recap next week, but we'll see. Maybe something interesting happens, and maybe Kirk Cousins just decides, you know what, this is my audition to prove that I'm better than Brock Purdy, and I'm going to be the Niner quarterback next year.
Yeah, I could have made that joke earlier. Like, well, it's clear now the Niners need to trade for Kirk Cousins now that Brock Purdy isn't so special anymore. But nah. I do think this is probably his last year with the Vikings. I think it's entirely possible that the Vikings go full rebuild next offseason. But we'll see.